Warning: this podcast discusses paranormal activity and other topics some might find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, everybody.
Hey, y'all.
Welcome to Ghost Gossip. This is Ashley. You know who I am.
And I'm Daniel.
You know who he is. And this is just going to be a quick little episode.
Update.
We have I won't cry.
You might.
Oh.
Don't.
Okay, I'm good. We just recorded another episode and I was fine. And here, okay. It's funny when we talk about the house, we get like, I've moved.
I'm not far
from here. So, guys, this is something that I never thought I would say. I sold the house.
Yep.
The house is no longer ours. It's no longer ours.
Yep.
It's done.
But we still have a very good connection.
No connection, see?
But we do.
So I had somebody ask me for an updated episode on the house and my relationship with Wayne.
Yeah.
And we have come a long way since my last update on Wayne. Like, I haven't really talked about him on here a lot.
Right.
I mention him as we go, like, through examples, but I haven't talked about how our relationship grew after 2023.
Yeah,
and changed.
Especially the last couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's definitely a different feel in the house than when we were living there. It's definitely more silent, I guess.
Yes. So after my last updated episode, which was in 2023, was the last time I talked about the house, like actually the house. He hated us in the beginning. Like, he hated the kids. I always said he loved Daniel. Daniel was his guy. Like, he liked Daniel. I said that from the very beginning, before we investigated the house, before we did anything to confirm that he really did like you. He hated me. He hated the kids. He hated the animals. He hated the fact that we were tearing down walls. I have this strong feeling that he thought that we were ruining his house. Mm-hmm. And he was very active in the beginning because we were doing remodeling. We were taking out walls. We were painting. We were taking the lights down. We were ripping up floors. We came through and we gutted it.
Well, you got to think the house sat for 3 years.
4.
And so he was just chilling, doing his thing.
Chilling like a villain.
Yep.
Yeah. And it really, it is not uncommon for people to go into a house and start ripping out walls and start triggering activity.
Yeah.
And so we blew up his world. So when we first bought the house had a weird energy. So there's certain houses that we went and saw during the 8 months of us looking for a home in 2021, 2022.
Yes, Wayne was very crotcheted.
I call him crotchety.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. I call him crotchety.
Yeah, he is.
That's so funny. The spirit talker just said crotcheted. So we would go into a house and I would be like, I can't be here. Remember that one house that I said somebody died here? Mm-hmm. Somebody's died recently. And you're like, no.
Was that the one with the drainage issue? The white house in the cul-de-sac?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And I told him, I was like, somebody died here.
It was a rental.
No. Okay, I'm talking about another house. That was a rental. I told you that house.
That had bad juju.
That had bad energy. It was a rental, and I told you this house feels thick.
Yeah,
like this house.
I felt that for sure.
It's like you couldn't breathe almost. Yeah. Like it had a lot of different energy in and out.
Probably because it was a rental.
Yes, and I did not like it. Cute house, cute neighborhood. Did not like it.
Drainage issues.
And then the house I'm talking about was the big white house in the cul-de-sac, and we were walking through, and
in the neighborhood across from us. Okay.
I got really sad.
Yeah.
And I was...
Hunters.
Our spirit talker just said Hunter, and the name of the neighborhood is...
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, we went and we were walking through that house, and I got really sad. And I told Daniel, I was like, somebody died here. Mm-hmm. And of course, Daniel being Daniel's initial response to me when I say things still after 6 years is to brush me off.
Well,
that. He's very dismissive.
Not brush you off.
You're very dismissive when I say something about paranormal.
I don't think it's dismissive. It is.
That's how I take it.
Well, I don't mean it to be dismissive. skeptical.
But he's like, no, no, no. I'm like, somebody died here. Somebody's died recently. This woman selling this house is sad. And so being the private investigator that I'm going to be, I looked her up. And sure enough, 6 months before she listed the house, her husband died of COVID.
Yep.
And I even said, somebody died of COVID.
Yep.
I even said that to you and our realtor.
Yep.
And so when I told our realtor, she was like, do what?
Yeah.
She goes, you did say that. And I was like, yeah. And so I knew. So we did not get that house.
Because I think our realtor even said the sons were handling a lot with her realtor because it was.
I don't remember that part, but she had lost her husband 6 months before listing the house. So yes, it was crazy. So I pick up on energy of buildings.
Or maybe she was living with one of her kids, something like that.
I don't know. All I know is I felt the energy of that house. The other house, I felt the energy of. And then when we walked into our house, the energy was weird. It wasn't bad. It was weird.
Well, the layout too. I mean, it was very discombobulated.
We called it a maze.
Yes.
Okay, we'll get to maze and the importance of the word maze. But when we walked through the house initially, it was very confusing. But the energy, I'm talking about energy, was not negative. It wasn't like it was heavy, but it almost was
suspenseful.
I was going to say indifferent. Like there was no energy. It's stagnant. It's just kind of like there. Like it hadn't been lived in.
Okay.
The air was just kind of like, so it didn't feel negative. It just felt stagnant. So after we moved in, when we were walking through though, we said this house is a maze. And my realtor used the word maze. Yeah. This place is like a maze. And then the garden out back was like a maze.
Yes.
With the shrubs and how the pathways led through the shrubs. And we said multiple times, this is a maze.
Like a labyrinth.
Mm-hmm. I love that movie. When we came into the house and we started living in it, the energy shifted.
Yes, very much so.
And it got heavy. Like it was negative at one point. And I always felt like I was being watched. My daughters always felt like they were being watched. Our son always felt like not so much being watched. He never felt alone.
Yeah.
Like he will say he didn't feel alone. And so the house just felt like it was its own personality. It became over time, over the 3 years we owned it, it became its own
entity.
Yeah. It has its own personality. The house has a personality. And then my relationship with Wayne, when I started learning about him and people started telling me him as a person in life, I finally figured out that's why it's so negative. He was not a nice person. He was quite aggressive. He was demanding and persnickety and crotchety and all those negative words. And so what we were experiencing in the house started to make more sense. And then 2022, we battled. Him and I battled.
Well, it's funny too because everybody knew that was Wayne's house.
That's what we call it, Wayne's house. It still is Wayne's house.
Everybody knew Wayne.
They didn't say Ashley and Daniel's house.
No.
They didn't say...
They're like, oh, you live in Wayne's house.
Wayne's house.
That was definitely made you raise your eyebrows. You're like...
Why is this?
But he was very prickly, and there were lots of prickly plants everywhere.
Yes, there were lots of prickly plants. And that's another thing. We started taking down plants. We started taking down walls. And so him and I went head to head from 2022 into 2023. Our relationship was not good. I hated him. He hated me. You know, I could tell from the stories that I heard from other people that are living that he hated women and he did not like strong women. And here I was just running the house, taking down his walls. You know, so him and I, like when I say battled, we battled. I would cuss him out. He would keep me up, the sleep paralysis. Like he would loom over me when I would stay in his room because that was our guest room. He would stand at the foot of the bed and loom over me. And it was really negative. My relationship with him was really horrible. And then it was a little while longer. Like we tried saging the house. I tried blessing the house. And finally I got to the point. I'm like, dude, listen here. I'm not trying to run you off. If you want to be here, that's fine. Leave my kids alone. Leave me alone. Like stop standing in the corner. Stop bothering our dreams. Stop keeping us awake. Stop. Like, I don't care if you want to walk around. Just
chill out, bro.
Chill out. You can stay here. You can live here. I'm not trying to run you off as long as you're not a dick.
Yeah.
And I'd say, fuck off. I mean, you would hear me yelling at him. I'd be upstairs yelling at him. Not when the kids were home. I'd wait till they weren't because For a long time, we did not talk about any of this in front of them.
Yeah.
But come to find out, they were all experiencing things on their own levels. Like you had one that was seeing him in shadow. The other ones would hear him, and our son would just kind of feel him lingering. And so it really, as time went on, he got less negative. He accepted us. We became, in my mind and in your mind and in the kids' mind, we became family. Mm-hmm. And even though he didn't like everything we did, he didn't bother us as much. We learned how to coexist in the house together. And he was very particular about his room. He did not want me in there. He still, I'll get to it. But up until the time we moved, he did not want us in his room. And that's what I told him. I gave him that room. That's his room. Have at it. You do whatever you want in here. Just don't scare us. Don't keep us up. I won a free psychic session or psychic reading. I won one. And the psychic told me that he was attracted to me because he knows I know he's there and he needs help crossing over. Now, I never explored what she said. And, I guess I'm not ready to go there yet. I'm still quite guarded because I get freaked out, and it's sometimes really overwhelming. Because when we investigated the house and he connected with me and he was channeling through me, it freaked me out. That was scary for me. That was a lot. It was a lot for you to witness.
That room was thick. I mean, it was super, super thick.
Yeah. And so when it impacts you like that, and they're using you as like a way to channel their emotions and their words, it's hard. And I'm not ready for that, because I can barely handle my own emotion, let alone somebody else's emotion that's coming through me. Like, that's a lot. So after we investigated and we figured out, now this is our opinions and how we interpreted the evidence that we got. It was, he missed us.
Yeah.
He did miss us. And he enjoyed us being there. Still crotchety.
Oh, yeah. I do think that he began to feel like
part of a family.
Something he didn't have. He didn't have a wife. He didn't have kids. He had his mom.
Yeah.
And so I think he watched from a distance for a while. Mm-hmm. And then I think he got much more comfortable.
Yeah, I do too.
And I think he enjoyed it. I think he enjoyed us being there.
Yep, at the end. And then when we left, he got lonely. So we went back with my realtor while we were going through, and we were walking with her, and I had my spirit talker running, and we put the REM pod out. And my realtor, who is a listener, we were talking to her, and she said, it doesn't matter. This is even before she started listening to my podcast. This was before we listed the house. This was before I told her about Wayne. She said, I always look to this window. This is the window. I always feel like somebody's standing there. I went, well, this is Wayne's window. This was his bathroom.
Yeah.
He is here. He looks out that window and he watched the corner. He watched the world go by. Like, of course, that's why you feel him and you feel like somebody's watching you, is because he is.
Yeah.
And as we were standing there, the REM pod went off in his room, and she goes, and it was almost confirming what I was saying. And then the spirit talker goes, Maze. And that's his way, in my mind. I interpreted that as he remembered her saying the house is a maze. And then it said, the spirit is in the maze.
Yeah.
I just got chills.
Like, yeah, right after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she
like, bam,
goes,
bam.
and she was like, oh my God.
Seriously, we gotta leave.
Yeah. I gotta leave. I gotta get out of here. But it was real interesting. The people have asked, was there anything else in the house? At one time, yes, I do. I think that the energy that was being put in the house by the mirrors and by his negativity and just our energy.
I definitely think there were some transients, some just kind of in and out, like passing by, like,
And I think, and that is when somebody was like, hey, call out to your ancestors, that will help. And the moment I started to call out to my ancestors, your ancestors, the activity slowed.
Well, you got to think too, there was a gym down there, and so people were in and out. People probably did come visit. So some of that energy,
and the house sat vacant, and there was, when you have a vacant place with mirrors, and it did sit on water because the easement that runs, there's a creek that runs through our backyard. It generates energy, and so it was like a hot spot. It was just like perfect what's the word I'm looking for? A melting pot, as you will. Like, yes, it was just like, I just think portal. I think the basement was a portal in your closet. I mean, it was just a perfect combination, just waiting for something. So yes, I do think there were other things in the house, but I do not think any of them stayed.
No, I think that.
No, it was Wayne. Wayne, he's the one that's there.
He had guests.
Sure. And I think that he did the last time we were there. Well, the last time we were there, he said, I'm moving.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were doing something last week, it said, I moved. And when we go over there, because, I was going through getting everything clean in the house, he's not there.
Mm-mm.
I don't feel him anymore.
No.
So he's moved. I don't know if he's moved on. I don't know if he's here. I don't know maybe if he's with his sister or he's just, maybe he's traveling finally. I don't know.
Personally, I think he has moved on. I think he got to a place of comfort and realized it was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay for him to go.
Yep.
He didn't have anything unfinished. He got to experience a family. He got to have that, and he was at peace. I think a lot of why he was still there was because he wasn't at peace.
Yeah. Even the kids had said the house does feel different.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like you're not alone anymore.
Right.
Like when you're in the house,
it feels like you're by yourself.
Yeah. It just feels like
any other house.
Yep. Just like any other house. Which is weird because it never felt like that.
Yeah, I personally believe that he's moved on.
I like to think that he's moved on. I really hope he's moved on, and I hope he's at peace because it was difficult to get to this place with him because I hated that sumbitch for a long time.
And that's just what it feels like to me. And if that is the case, then I'm thankful for that.
I do too.
So he deserved that.
Yep. And you know what? The house is so special. The house is our first home as a family of 5. It was where my daughters learned to be sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was where we came together as a family.
Yep. And it's where this came from. I was able to accept my sensitivities and my gifts and open them and talk about them and not feel ashamed of them. And it was where we learned to be husband and wife.
Mm-hmm.
And now we were the second owners, and now it's, somebody else's. And I'm happy because it was a burden for the past 5 months. It was, hard to keep up 2 houses financially and just everything else. And it's nice. But it's a relief, and I'm glad.
It will always be.
It's so special.
And we will always look back at it very fondly.
Yep. It was.
For sure.
Yep. It was. And,
and years to come, we'll ride by there.
Yep, we will. Hi.
We'll go a little Sunday drive, ride by there just to say hey.
Yep, it's very special. And I don't think he's going to be bothering the new people. I think he's, because even the last few times we were there, he just wasn't there. He wasn't there. And I tried, and he's not there. I feel him more here just when we talk about him than I do him there. He's not there.
But even now, it just seems like when we talk about him now, it seems more like a memory.
It does seem like a memory. Yeah. So
not anything active.
But yes, the house is no longer mine and yours.
It's someone else's, and we wish them well.
But yes, I do hope to one day own another one. That is my dream, is to find a haunted house to be able to run and investigate and offer investigations to the public. And that is on my 5-year plan to find something in the middle of nowhere with land and be able to open my own haunted house and allow investigators and paranormal researchers in to investigate. So
that'll be fun.
Yep. My haunted house owning days are not done.
Nope.
Just this one.
We will keep searching.
Yes, we will. Okay. So that's just an update, and I hope that you have enjoyed our haunted house stories and experiences. And as we close this chapter,
there's many more chapters to write.
Yes.
Another name.
Yeah, that's my aunt's name. Marilyn better not be in my drawer. Heifer, get out. Okay. I wonder if my ring is in my drawer. Huh. I lost one of my grandmother's.
I've always thought it was in one of your dresser drawers.
Remember when I found my necklace in the drawer? Mm-hmm. It'd fallen in the bottom of my drawer. Okay. Yep. So I'm going to collect myself and we're going to go get Jersey Mike's.
All right.
Thank y'all for listening.
Thank you very much.
As always, he'll see you later.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't want to say it because I was wondering.
Did it pop into your head like 3 seconds before I said it?
It popped in my head when you said lunch.
Because
we can have lunch after.
Because I was sitting here thinking and I was like.
Because I was just going to go make a bologna sandwich.
We'll go to Jersey Mike's.